Let me start with a confession. The title of this video is a lie. You will feel anger. You will get bothered. You are a human being, not a rock. So this is not a tutorial to delete your emotions. What we are really talking about is something even more powerful. How to stop being controlled by your anger. How to reach a point where people's behavior no longer decides your mood, your peace, and your day. You will still feel the first wave, but you will know how to surf it instead of drowning in it. That is the real superpower. So, if you want to become one of those people who stay calm under pressure, who do not explode every time someone acts stupid, who can protect their peace even when the world is loud and annoying, this message is for you. Let us begin with a simple truth. You are not angry because of people. You are angry because of the meaning your mind gives to what they do. Two people can live the same situation and have completely different internal reactions. One explodes. The other shrugs and moves on. The difference is not the situation. It is the story they tell themselves about the situation. If you want to stop being easily bothered, you need to change three things: the story in your head, the space in your body, the standards in your life. Let us start with the first one, the story in your head. Imagine this. You are driving. Someone cuts in front of you aggressively. Your nervous system activates. Adrenaline, tension. Then your mind starts talking. How disrespectful. People are so stupid. Nobody knows how to drive. They could have killed me. In 10 seconds, you are not only reacting to what happened, you are reacting to your own story. Now imagine another internal dialogue. That was dangerous. Maybe they are in a hurry. Maybe they are idiots. Either way, I am safe. I do not want to give them my whole day. Same event, different story, different level of anger. Your emotion follows your interpretation. So when someone says something rude, ignores your message, forgets a promise, your mind will run to fill the gap. They do not respect me. I am not important. People always treat me like this. Or, they are lost in their own world. This hurts, but it is not about my value. If your stories are always personal, absolute, and dramatic, you will live angry. So step one to never be controlled by anger again is to catch your story in the first 10 seconds. Ask yourself, what am I telling myself about what just happened? Then test that story. Is this the only explanation? Or just the most dramatic one? Maybe the person was disrespectful, but most of the time, people are not attacking you. They are just living inside their own chaos, their own fears, their own confusion. You just happen to be near. When you stop making everything about you, you already feel 50% less angry. Now the second element, the space in your body. Even if you change your thoughts, if your body is always tense, sleep-deprived, overstimulated, you will explode with any small trigger. Think of your body as a cup. Stress, noise, work, lack of sleep, caffeine, social media, they all fill the cup. Then someone makes a small comment, and everything overflows. You say, "They made me angry." In reality, your cup was already full. They just added the last drop. To be less reactive, you do not only need psychology, you need physiology. You need to create more space inside your nervous system. That means three basic things: breath, sleep, inputs. First, breath. It sounds too simple, but your breathing is one of the fastest ways to calm your system. When you get triggered, your breath becomes short, fast, high in your chest. Your body thinks you are in danger, even if the only danger is someone being rude online. So when you feel that first wave of anger, before you answer, before you type, before you shout, pause and breathe slowly. In through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Out through your mouth for 6. Do this 3 to 5 times. You are telling your body, we are not in physical danger. We can respond with choice, not with instinct. You are not suppressing your anger. You are putting a leash on the animal so it does not destroy the house. Second, sleep. It is almost impossible to be emotionally stable when you are chronically exhausted. When you sleep badly, the part of your brain that manages impulse control gets weaker. The emotional part gets louder. You become more sensitive, more dramatic, more easily offended. So one of the most spiritual things you can do for your peace is to go to bed earlier. You want to fight your anger. Start by fighting your Netflix at 2 a.m. Third, inputs. If you spend hours every day consuming anger, do not be surprised if you start to feel it. News, outrage videos, online fights, constant comparison, all of that teaches your nervous system that the world is a hostile place and you must always be ready to attack or defend. You do not need to become blind to problems, but you do need to protect your peace. Choose better inputs. Content that calms, educates, inspires, not only content that irritates and provokes. Now the third element, your standards in life. This one is subtle, but powerful. A lot of your anger comes from a secret rule. People should behave the way I consider correct. Consciously, you know this is impossible. But unconsciously, you walk around with a list of expectations. People should be on time. Respect my time. Reply fast. Drive well. Not lie, not gossip. Think like me. Every time reality disobeys your rule book, you suffer. Now, I am not saying you should accept abuse or stay in toxic places. That is not calm. That is self-betrayal. I am saying something else. You need 2 different standards. One for yourself, one for the world. Your standard for yourself can be high. Be kind. Be honest. Be punctual. Take responsibility. But your expectation for strangers must be realistic. Expect that people will be late sometimes. Expect that they will forget things. Expect that some will be rude, selfish, immature. Not because it is good, but because that is how humans actually behave. When you expect imperfection, you are less shocked when it appears. And then, instead of, wow, how dare they, you simply think, ah, there it is, human behavior being human again. You keep your standards for yourself and your inner circle, but you stop donating your peace to random people not following rules they never agreed to. Now, we need to talk about a dangerous habit. Emotional revenge. You cannot control how others behave, so you try to control how much you punish yourself for what they did. Someone ignores you. You spend hours thinking about it, stalking, creating stories. Someone criticizes you. You replay the comment all day in your mind. You are hurt once in reality, and then you hurt yourself 10 more times mentally. At some point, it is no longer them. It is you. You are the one repeating the scene, feeding the story, refreshing the pain. Your mind becomes the attacker. If you want real peace, You need to learn the art of emotional release. Let us be clear. Releasing does not mean pretending it did not hurt. It means you decide how long that moment will own you. Hurt is not a choice, but staying inside the hurt for years often is. So how do you release? First, you name what you feel. Not, they are horrible, but I feel disrespected. I feel rejected. I feel ignored. When you name the feeling, you bring it to the light. You stop attacking the person in your mind and start taking care of yourself. Second, you decide a limit. You can say to yourself, okay, I will let myself be sad or angry about this today. I will talk about it with one friend I trust. But after today, I will stop feeding it. This is not magic. The thought will come back. But every time it returns, you can answer, no, we already processed this. We're not going to rewatch this movie again. You redirect your attention. You stand up, move your body, do something in the real world. Anger loves stillness. It grows when you sit and replay. It shrinks when you move and create. Third, you learn to forgive intelligently. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. People think it means to say, it was nothing, it did not matter. No, sometimes it mattered a lot. Forgiveness is not saying that what they did was okay. It is saying, I refuse to let this define my future and my identity. You can forgive in 3 directions. Forgive others for being human and limited. Forgive yourself for staying too long, for not seeing earlier, for reacting badly. And sometimes, forgive life for not being as simple as you expected. Forgiveness does not mean you keep everyone close. You can forgive, learn the lesson, and still create distance and boundaries. Peace without boundaries is just a performance. Now there is another reason you get angry so easily. You expect your inner world to be managed by the outside world. You think that for you to be calm, everyone else must behave perfectly. This is a recipe for misery, because there will always be noise, disrespect, injustice, idiots. Real emotional freedom is when you say, my peace is my job, not the job of my partner, my boss, my family, or random strangers on the internet. Your peace is a responsibility, not a gift. So you start to build a kind of inner house. Inside that house, you have your values, your beliefs, your intentions, and you decide who and what can enter. If someone says something awful, you hear it at the door of the house. You evaluate. Is this useful? Is this true? Is this coming from love or from their own pain? If it is garbage, you leave it outside. You do not bring it in, put it on the sofa, and serve it tea. Many people are emotionally tired not because of what happens, but because they invite every comment and every mood into their inner house. You can be kind without being available to every energy. Now you might be thinking, this sounds beautiful, but in the moment, I just explode. It is faster than me. That is because you are trying to fight anger only when it appears. But calm is not built in the moment of the explosion. Calm is built before, in your routines, in your habits, in the way you speak to yourself every day. If your internal dialogue is already harsh, critical, impatient, you will naturally be harsh with others. We export the tone we use inside. So one way to become less angry is to practice a more compassionate voice with yourself. Not a voice that excuses everything, but a voice that corrects without humiliating. Instead of, I am so stupid for feeling like this, you say, I am triggered. This is human. What do I want to do with this feeling? You become a good parent to your own emotions. Firm, but kind. Now I want to give you one more tool. A simple question that can save you from many fights, online and offline. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy and my future self's regret? You are about to answer a rude comment. You are about to send a long, angry text. You are about to shout something you cannot take back. Pause and ask, if I look back at this moment tomorrow, will I feel proud of how I reacted, or will I feel tired and ashamed? If the answer is ashamed, close your mouth. Put the phone down. Walk away. Silence and distance are often stronger than any argument. You do not need to attend every fight you are invited to. You can choose your battles. Ask, does this help my long-term life, or only my short-term ego? Most anger is ego shouting, respect me, see me, agree with me. But your soul, your deeper self, is more interested in peace than in winning. Let that part of you drive the car more often. Now let us bring this to something very practical. Think about one person or situation that easily makes you angry. Maybe it is a family member, a coworker, someone online. Notice what happens in your body when you think of them. Tension in the chest, in the jaw, in the stomach. Notice the story that appears. They always, they never. I cannot stand them. Now ask yourself, what part of this I can control and what part I cannot? You cannot control their personality, but you can control how often you see them, what topics you accept to discuss, how long you stay in that conversation. You can control whether you answer immediately or after you calm down. You can control how much time you spend thinking about it when you are alone. Instead of trying to fix them, you adjust your position around them, like moving a chair away from a fire. The fire may continue, but you stop burning your hands. Some people are not meant to be close. They are meant to be far. And that is okay. You can love from a distance. You can forgive and move on without sending a newsletter explaining your decision. Finally, I want you to imagine a new version of yourself. A version who still feels anger, but in a clean way. The anger comes, you notice, you breathe, you choose, you act, or you walk away. You no longer save every offense in a secret folder to use in future arguments. You do not spend hours in imaginary conversations where you win and they lose. You use your energy to build your life, not to replay other people's bad moments. This version of you is not cold. They can still cry, laugh, love deeply, but their peace is not so fragile. They know how to say, "This is my limit. No, I will not answer now. I choose peace over being right." This version of you is possible. It will not appear in one day, but every time you pause, breathe, question your story, release a hurt, sleep a little better, choose your inputs more carefully, you are getting closer. You will never be a rock. You will never stop feeling. But you can become a person whose emotions are strong and still under their command. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their chaos, remember, you can visit, but you do not need to live there. Protect your peace like something sacred, because it is. And when you do that, you will not never feel angry again, but you will discover something even better. You will feel anger and still choose your response. And that is where your real power lives.